This is a live stream, and let me see if things are working fine in the live stream, and I hope you are able to see me. Great. So let us talk about our subject today, and that is, does multiverse exist? It's a very deep and profound question, and we need to find the answers. And in today's live stream, I will try and explain the question, this particular question, and try to evaluate whether it is true, what are the proofs that we see around us, and how we can actually ascertain that there are multiverse exist. We know that there is universe, that one of the universe we live in. We also have planets, galaxies, stars, and the universe itself seems like infinite thing. And then here we're talking about parallel universe existing together, and hence we call them multiverse. So to find the answer, let us look at the recent victory at Oscars, where Michelle Yeoh in this scene, as you can see, she has got the Best Supporting Actress award for this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, as the name suggests, everything everywhere all at once. That means in this series or in this movie, the producers of the film are trying to say that not only there are multiverse, there are parallel universe, but the concept of time also is being debated. That means the time can exist together. That means past, present, and future can exist together. So although this is work of fiction, but very profound questions are being raised in this particular movie, which is Everything Everywhere uh, all at once. So there must be some truth behind this. And what is the truth? In fact, there is another work of fiction I would like to discuss here, and that is called the Star Trek Discovery. Very popular series. Now, this is a series in which the Star Trek Discovery is a ship which actually travels not only through time, faster than light travel, even faster than warp speed, but also is able to cross over into a parallel universe and conduct maneuvers inside the parallel universe. If you have seen this particular series, you know what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, the people who are actually behind these fictional work are constantly talking about parallel universe being there, and they are actually showing a lot of scientific information, the science that we know as of today. So let us answer this question: does multiverse exist, and how we can prove it? So when we talk about the multiverse, let us look at the basic nature of the universe, which is quantum in nature. The basic nature of our universe, our own universe, is quantum in nature. So we know that the Einstein theory works for large things, for planets, for galaxies, etc. But when it comes to explaining things which are quite small, then there is another theory called the quantum field theory, which works, and that explains how atoms behave, how electrons, how photons work. And when we talk about the quantum theory, then it shows that the quantum nature shows that the particles are behaving in a dual nature. The particle as we know them, for example, electron or photons, protons, etc. And there are so many other, and there are nearly 250 different particles. They do not behave like particles at all. They actually have dual behavior, which is at times they behave like particles and other times they behave like waves, and that is the quantum nature. So if there are duality in our stuff that we are made of, then what is stopping us as human beings, as our cars, our ship, to also demonstrate the quantum behavior? And that is a big mystery. So if we are able to prove this at a larger scale, so this quantum theory has been proved at a smaller scale, but if we are able to prove this at a larger scale, then the unification of quantum field equations and the Einstein theory of relativity will actually happen, and then we will know exact truth behind this universe itself. So this is where our understanding is. We don't even understand the universe, and here we are trying to basically draw conclusions about multiverse being present. Why we talk about multiverse being present? Simply because these equations, quantum equations, shows that when you are not looking at the quantum particles, they may be doing something else. When you observe them, they actually appear or manifest as particles in your universe. While this is also happening, there are big questions around dark energy, dark matter, and also gravity, because we know gravity is there. Gravity drives the entire universe, but we don't know what creates gravity, how gravity is so weak as compared to other fundamental forces like electromagnetism, nuclear forces, etc. Gravity seems to be a million billion times weaker than these strong forces. So we do not know what causes gravity, and how gravity is so weak. Even though gravity can be very strong at certain places, for example, Earth, gravity is strong because we are standing on Earth. Gravity pulls us back on Earth, and we need to exert a lot of energy to get out of the clutches of the gravity that Earth exert on us. However, at the same time, the gravity of certain bigger objects can be humongous. For example, the gravity in black hole is so high that even light cannot escape the effects of the gravity. So how gravity functions, what is dark matter, dark energy, these are unanswered questions. Maybe the dark energy and dark matter is basically work of fiction. It does not mean anything. Therefore, there must be a multiverse from which is actually affecting us, and that gives us a notion that there is some other material which we cannot see, which we cannot interact with. At the same time, we have a lot of confusion about time also. Well, whether time is a force, or is it a force, is it a thing, or is it a fundamental force, or is it just a direction in which we are traveling? Because we know that using our scientific knowledge that time can we can also travel backward, but traveling backward requires a lot of effort, but we can definitely move forward. That means we can go forward in time. So what is time? Time, is it a force, is it a thing, first of all? So we do not understand time fully. We have our theories that makes us more wiser, but we do not understand. So there are a lot of unanswered questions. So let me summarize at this point. The unanswered questions are related to the real nature of the universe, which is quantum, and why we do not see that behavior at a larger scale at our level. Second thing is the questions about extra energy being present, but we do not know what causes these energies, which is dark matter, dark energy, and also gravity, and why gravity is so weak, yet it can be very strong. So there are a lot of abnormalities in our understanding of the gravity, and also what causes gravity is not fully understood. And the third thing is, what is time? Is it something which is a figment of our brain, that brain creates it, or is it some sort of a force? So these are the questions which causes us to basically think there must be a multiverse. So in order to basically draw certain conclusions, even though these are all theoretical ideas, nothing has been proven, let us look at the particles, how they behave. So the particles that we look at, whenever we look at different atoms, electron, etc., they appear like, or for example, light itself. We know that light is a wave. It can travel like a wave. Our radio waves, in fact, we call our radio signal, which is nothing but a portion of light spectrum, we call it as a wave because it travels like a wave. However, we also know that the wave is associated with a particle called photon. So now there is a wave which is nothing but a vibration, but then we also register that light is carried by a quantized particle called photon. Quantized basically means that is the smallest possible particle. It's called photon. So when we look at a photon or any other elementary particle like electron, we look at them, they seems to demonstrate dual behavior, which is a wave at times, and at when we measure them they become particle miraculously, but when we do not measure them they move around like a beam of light. So this is surprising. So the theory, the quantum theory, is that these particles can continue to do their own thing until they are observed, and when they are observed, they manifest themselves to us as particles. So this is very strange. And when you are looking away after this, then they start doing their own thing again. So when they are not being observed by you, and when we say that they are doing their own thing, is it that these particles exist in universe of some other observer? When we are not observing these particles, that means somebody else is observing, and that is how these particles become reality for that somebody who's not part of our universe. That means straight away the quantum nature helps us deduce that there could be multiple observers in different parts of our multiverse who may be observing same particle at different time. And that is how the multiverse theory of multiverse basically can be imagined, that these particles sometimes they are with us, sometimes they are with somebody else, and some other time they are with some other entity. And literally there is no limit to how many times these particles can manifest and show themselves as photons or electrons or protons or neutrons. There is no limit. They can do it infinitely in that infinitely small time. That means there could be a possibility that the basic nature of the universe is a wave. It's like a wave, like an ocean. But when you look at the ocean, it basically starts showing you different particles, and that these particles then come together and start showing you planets, etc., etc. So when you observe them in your universe, you get a feeling that these objects which are made of these elementary particles exist as Earth, as humans, as planet Mars, or as Sun. Similarly, in some other part of universe, in some other universe, there is an observer who's observing the same particle located at the same location at something else. So these particles basically manifest themselves for that observer in the same location of space-time as something else, or maybe the similar thing, we do not know. So since this is a theory, no proof can be provided, hence there must be a multiverse scenario existing, and these multiverse can be infinite. This is what these dual nature of particle probably tell us, and therefore more research may be required to understand this dual nature in nutshell. um, However, since there are multiverse, and these multiverses which are basically based on the quantum nature of these different particles, therefore the multiverse must exist in order to prove that there is nothing called dark energy, there is nothing called dark matter, and the gravity, because the material which creates the gravity, as far as understanding goes, that if there is material existing concentrated in one place, as a byproduct you get that feeling of gravity. So if these particles exist in one location, but then they manifest in different universe at different times, and to different observers as in different energy state, the matter exists at the same location, but in different universe different observers see them as different things. Therefore the gravity may be leaking into multiverse, and that is why this is one of the reasons that we feel gravity is a weak energy as compared to other forces, because gravity must be leaking into other universes, whereas other forces exist at a very lower level. So that energy may be manifested across all multiverses in a similar manner except gravity. At the same time, there is no limit of how many times these particles can manifest themselves based on the based on the observation. Therefore, the multiverse may exist at the same time, and there could be infinite multiverses being observed at the same time. And that is why this movie starring Michelle Yeoh, this movie has explained this concept beautifully. That, and the name of the movie is Everything Everywhere All at Once, and she obviously got the Best Supporting Actress award. And I also told you about the Star Trek Discovery. So they have beautifully covered this aspect of multiverse, how different different kinds of beings living in multiverse, their life can get entangled if something is broken in this universe. Some force barrier breaks down, then you will not know who is from your world, who is from your universe, because everything exists together. It's all jumbled up, and the feeling of universe is probably given by the dual nature of the nature itself, dual nature of the particles that create this universe. And therefore, when they are showing duality, that means they are not creating universe, because if they are not being observed by you, then somebody else is observing them, and at the same time. And that is the biggest mystery, that how these multiverse exist, if they exist, and how, what is the force which keeps them apart, how these multiverse with all their complexities and entropy can exist at the same time, and how the interaction between these multiple infinite multiverses cannot happen and they are kept apart. That is the biggest question. So I basically end my live stream at this point, and I look forward to receiving your comments, your suggestions. What do you think about this subject? What do you think about this whole idea of multiverse? I will be more than eager to receive your comments. And friends, thanks for watching, and I will catch you again in the next one.